I don't think it matters.
Okay. Just come over here and be like, okay, right here. Okay, so yeah, just tell us about the organization and like maybe events that you guys have done, how the organization started. Just go ahead. What do you want to do?
Okay, well, the Asian American Student Association here at Ball State mainly focuses on kind of giving that cultural awareness in terms of the Asian American students on campus and.
Oh, it's good.
And
okay, sorry.
You're fine.
It's okay. And Asian countries as well. So we try to diversify each country that we kind of cover, holidays that occur during the time of year, and also try to hold events, not only educational but social as well, just to kind of bring people from campus to our organization.
Gotcha. Yeah, because the most recent event was Instant Noodles, right? Or was it another event?
It was during our week of events, actually.
Oh, okay. So what did you guys do during that week of events?
For Monday, we did That's So Asia, which was kind of a game show based on Family Feud. And we based the questions on kind of just info about China, Japan, India, Saudi Arabia, just everything Asian.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then on Tuesday was Instant Noodles event. So that was our way of reaching out to I guess sort of like the pop culture aspect of Asian Americans, what they do, and yeah, judging from their Q&A, they originally aren't from America, but they came here to make better for themselves.
Will you let them know what the Instant Noodles, who they are?
Oh, okay. Instant Noodles, they were from season 6 of America's Best Dance Crew. They were finalists, but they didn't win. But they're really good, and they're based out of LA. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then on Wednesday, we just wanted to collab with the Latino Student Union. Since we are the smaller organizations out of the big 4 organizations, we just wanted to do something fun, so we did bowling. And then for the rest of the week, we actually went to a conference, which is the Midwest Asian American Student Union Spring Conference. It happens every spring in a different university in the Midwest. So this year, it was at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. About your organization?
As far as you'd asked how it started,
yeah.
I'm sure you're not connected with that history. It was more of, I think it was Ball State's initiative to add more multicultural organizations as well as that learning aspect to the university. Since this is a PWI, mostly a lot of white students who come in, they don't have a lot of exposure to culture. According to what I've been hearing with the government, though, they're expecting a big shift in minorities overtaking the majority, so there's going to be a lot more diversity among college campuses as well as the United States. Yeah. So for Ball State to combat that, they had already been thinking ahead of time and added in 4 different groups to attribute to diversity. And understanding it and getting us as students ready for that workforce, that no matter what, we're going to have to face an individual that's different than us, whether it's skin tone or sexual orientation. So it was a way to prepare. I think what Ramel and what the rest of the exec has done this year that I've seen different from past years is that past years it's been about educating or kind of leaning on the Eastern Asian cultures, which is, fun, it's adorable, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, but it's not really expanding to the Asian American Student Association. So what we did this year is add in the Middle East, more aspects of that culture. So I think with this executive board, as far as what I've seen, it's been a great improvement in reaching out a little bit more for ourselves as well as the rest of the student body.
That's cool. Okay. Have you seen like a change in maybe like the student body, being well-rounded as far as culture goes? Since you guys have kind of revamped things.
I think from my freshman year, I was kind of an AASA. It was a very strange group back then. I think I'm definitely seeing more maturity among the student population and wanting to engage themselves with someone who's different. Knowing that it's going to help them in the workforce, it's going to help them as an individual, and overall they're here for an experience. They might as well get as much out of it as they can. So I'm definitely seeing a shift in the last 4 years.
Okay. Good. I think.
How large is your organization?
We have, I believe, my number's not correct, 35 official members. There's about a good 15 to 25, sometimes 25 that are very strong each week that come to our meetings. So that's pretty good for consistency among other groups.
Have you guys seen any conflict or problems within the organization? Maybe as far as, hearing about maybe discrimination or discriminating against Asian Americans or stereotypes or anything, if that makes sense. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No conflicts have arisen within the organization, but we do sometimes have events that cover that, like either would it be a panel discussion, or more recently our last event, which I forgot to mention from our week of events, filmmaker and producer Curtis Chin came in and showed a documentary about Vincent Chin, who was a Vietnamese American who was murdered for being Vietnamese, basically, by two automotive workers. They were blaming, like, Asians are taking over the automotive industry. We're losing all our jobs. It's because of you. And they just beat him up because he was Vietnamese.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was really effective to attend. You said it was a panel discussion or a speaker, a guest speaker?
Yeah, a guest speaker.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You guys want to add anything on?
Do you have, like, is the organization open to only Asian Americans, or is it just for anybody who wants to come and experience it?
Well, as a Big Four organization, we welcome all people of backgrounds, gender identities, like just anything. You're welcome to come as long as you're a student.
I think what we've done differently this year is definitely make it so that people don't have to feel like they're Asian to come to the meetings or to come to the events. A lot of people get that stigma, whereas if you're white, you really can't go to a BSA meeting, which is completely untrue. Spectrum has their big motto, which they've had for years. You don't have to be queer to be here, and that's the same not exactly the same aspect of ASA, but the idea that if you're interested in the culture and you want to learn more about it, then please come to our meetings, come to our events, and educate yourself and have fun while you're at it. We have one of our executive members is Alec Martinga, and he's Caucasian, and I think he's a mix between Hispanic. He's actually a mix, but his major is Japanese. So obviously he's not Asian, but he has a very clear desire and love for the culture, and that's what brought him to AASA.
Cool.
I think if I could add on the discrimination question, we haven't seen anything within our organization or on campus. I think Ball State's really good about hitting that policy hard as far as this is not allowed. In Masu, though, we talked about a recent movie that's come out called Olympus Has Fallen, and that is a horrendous film about a very generalized Asian culture coming to basically take over the United States. And there was a lot of very bad feedback about that movie as far as people using racial slurs and those sort of phrases on Twitter. There's some public shaming on that, which is very graphic, very verbal. So there's definitely some discrimination, especially with the whole talk about North Korea and everything. But I think as far as our group, we're really good about setting up an open area for people to discuss it. We have some less educated members, but it's been a good opportunity for them to grow and really learn that this isn't appropriate, or what can we do better about helping them to cultivate into a more educated person.
Okay, cool, thank you. You guys want to move
Do you
on?
want to just, like, I'm going to stop it in between each
Oh, okay.
just to make it easier on us.